Alright. This one. This one. Yes. Okay, it's this one. My methods of saving are really bad. That's why I always have to clarify which part I'm on before I click it. Yes, this is the right part. Okay, okay. I was getting scared there because I thought I was clicking the wrong one and that I had to go back to the load screen. I really need a better saving method because the way I do it can confuse me sometimes. Even though it's only been like a day since I last played this game. It's only been a day. Ever since they had met Maria in the airport, she had constantly been making a huge fuss about Halloween. But it seemed she had cut loose a little too much, and acted a little too boisterous on the plane, on the boat, and during lunch, because Rosa had warned her several times. In times like that, Auntie Rosa would rarely scold her in front of people. More commonly, she would call Maria into the shadows, and scold her when they were alone. So since Maria had been called off somewhere, they thought she must be getting scolded. When they looked at the clock, they realized that it was almost 6. They couldn't really imagine that Maria had been being scolded this whole time. Perhaps it had come time for some anime she watched every week to start, or something. She had probably just decided to stay in the mansion's parlor.
ひょっとすると、バトラ様がお目覚めになって一緒に遊ばれているのかもしれませんね。
マリアちゃんにとってバトラ君は新しい友達のような感じだったろうからね。そのバトラ君と飛行場でハロウィンごっこをするのがきっととても楽しかったんだよ。
バトラもずいぶんはしゃいでたな。あいつ図体はでかくなったってのに中身は昔から全然変わらねえぜ。
そうですね。
Moonlit Night。
バトラ様は6年前のままでいてくださった気がします。
シャノンは6年前のバトラ君のこと覚えてるんだ。
ええ。何しろ大層お元気な方でしたから。
僕も6年前に4人で遊んだことを思い出すよ。シャノンはだいぶお姉さん風だったね。
そうだな。今よりしっかりしてた気がするぜ。
それはあの頃は身の程をわきまえておりませんでしたもので、いろいろと失礼いたしました。
いいよ、そんな礼儀云々は。
That was a big car. I heard that one. I don't know if the microphone picked up on that car, but that was a loud one.
仕事中はともかく、こうして休み時間に過ごす時の僕らはあの頃から変わらない仲良しで居続けたいね。
そうだぜ。使用人のシャノンとオフの時の作用は使い分けていいだろう。奴隷じゃないんだぜ。使用人の仕事をしてるだけじゃないかよ。私はシャノンとは、サヨとは一番古い友人だと思ってるぜ。
ありがとうございます、お嬢様。
It seemed that Shannon understood what lurked under Jessica's words. Because she had heard a little bit from Jessica and Kanon about what had happened between them. Apparently, George had also been informed about that, more or less. George approached the window and looked up at the darkening, raining sky.
カノン君はまだ幼いのに え方が少し背伸びしてるところがあると思うんです。
いや、もうよしてくれよ。まあ私も雰囲気に流されてたところはあったと思うしさ。まあシャノンたちのことを見てちょっと羨ましいとか思って気がせいていたところもあったかもしれねえな。私のことなんかどうでもいいだろ。それよりジョージ兄さんたちの方はどういう感じなんだよ。だいぶいい感じなんだろう。
どうなんでしょう。
うん。とてもいい感じだよ。
Shannon was lost for words, her face red, while George answered brightly and immediately. That carefree attitude made it obvious that their relationship was proceeding so perfectly it would make anyone envious.
やけるぜ。ってことはシャノンもそのうち寿退社ってわけなんだ。
どうなんでしょう。私には
どうなんだろうね。
I also do wonder.
僕にもわからないね。
George laughed like he was being mean and drew closer to Shannon. It was probably the way they usually flirted when they were alone. Jessica could only smile awkwardly and say, "Yes, yes, thank you, that's enough."
僕には夢がある。それは一国一城の主になりたいというビジネス的な野望だけじゃない。生涯を共にできる伴侶と幸せな家族を築きたいという夢もある。子供は最低でも2人欲しいとか。
Don't get too many because you're gonna have to spend a lot of money if you have a lot. I'm sorry.
家族で一緒にできるスポーツをしたいねとか。他にもいろいろ。そんな話をよくシャノンとはするよ。こんなことを話すといつもシャノンには気が早いですねと笑われるんだけど、僕はこの年のうちからもうなぜか落ち着いた老後のことを考えてしまうんだよ。元気に成長した子供たちと駆け回る孫たちと、そういうものに囲まれていつまでもシャノンと二人ゆっくりと余生を送れたらなって。
Like, I am around your age, George, and I wouldn't say that I'm ready for grandchildren just yet. I'm not ready to think about that possibility just yet.
そりゃ確かに気の早い話だぜ。でもなんていうのか、ジョージ兄さんらしい話だな。
そんな家族に囲まれたらさぞ素敵でしょうね。私が思い描いていた理想の家族もそんな感じだったと思います。
To Shannon, who had been raised in a welfare institute, that harmonious image of a family was probably something she yearned after. And George, who promised that he would definitely grant that wish for her, was surely a fitting person for her to spend her life with. Shannon was an important friend to Jessica. George was surely the one most fit to entrust that friend's future to.
まあ水を差すわけじゃねえけど、秀吉おじさんはともかくエヴァおばさんとかどうなわけ？
It's already generally accepted that Hideyoshi is fine with it. I think that's like one of the best parts about, you know, how everyone just knows his character well. They know that Hideyoshi would be chill with it, but they all know that Eva, anyone's gonna be problematic.
説得は大変じゃないの？
そんなことは誰も気にする必要はないよ。僕が誰を伴侶に選ぶかは誰にもはばかられない。
What about Beatrice, though? Didn't she have a hand into, having something happen between you and Shannon, or is it not as I'm thinking? Beatrice had a slight hand, but not a huge hand on influencing George's mind.
シャノンは僕が幸せにする。それに誰の許可が？
おお、ジョージ兄さんかっこいいぜ。よくそんな恥ずかしいセリフを堂々と。昔の兄さんはそういうキャラじゃなかったと思ったんだけどな。
男子3日会わざれば刮目して待つべしさ。僕だって成長する。シャノンを幸せにするために僕はもっともっと勉強してふさわしい男に成長するつもりだよ。
It seemed that perhaps George had some kind of awareness of how embarrassing the words coming out of his mouth were. His face turned very slightly red, and he scratched his head.
ジョージさん。
大丈夫。母さんは確かにごねるかもしれないけど、僕に任せておけばいい。親族全員に君が僕の伴侶だと認めさせてみせる。
すっげえな。シャノンが羨ましいぜ、まったく。
そこまで言ってもらえて、恐縮です。
っていうかよ、私はお邪魔をするんじゃないかって気がしてきたぜ。席を外した方がいいか？
Smiling awkwardly, Jessica stood up from the bed she had been sitting on. And at that very moment, the phone rang. Before Jessica picked up the receiver, wondering what they wanted, Shannon looked at the clock and was taken aback. It seemed that she had taken too long on her break.
すみません。私、お勤めの時間を忘れておりました。これで失礼します。
At the same time that Jessica picked up the phone, Shannon began dashing out of the room.
シャノン。また、いつもの時間に、いつもの場所で。
はい。失礼します。
もしもし、ジェシカです。ゲンジさん。はい、シャノンは今そっちに戻ってますよ。私たちが引き止めちゃったんです。叱らないでやってください。はい。
そっか。もうじき夕飯の準備の時間なんだね。
Many plates were lined up on the counter in the kitchen, and preparations for dinner were proceeded. Oh no, wait. Is this a Gohda point of view? We're getting a Gohda point of view, aren't we, this chapter? And preparations for dinner were proceeding steadily. The number of plates that were lined up there was 19. That number was one more than were lined up during the family conference every year. Wait, what? One more? Wait, pause. One more plate than what's usually there for the family conferences? Hold on. That's a weird line. The number of plates that were lined up there was 19. That number was one more than were lined up during the family conference every year. Wasn't there 17 people? Wasn't there 17 people? Because Battler was not there the previous year. So that would have meant there was 17 people, not 19. Could this be a translation mistake? But I don't think they would make a number mistake. I don't think there would be a number mistake. Wait, is there a way I can... Wait, no, wait. Is there a way I can check something? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Let me... Get me out. Get me out. Get me out. There we go. Hold up. Okay, I'm gonna save here real quick, because I'm gonna try something crazy. Yes, I'm trying something crazy. I am going ahead and trying something crazy. Alright, configuration. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see. Alright, there we go. Oh. Well, that's interesting. There we go. There we go. Okay. Wait. Alright. Let's have this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Oh. Let's not do this. Let's not do that, actually. Okay, yeah, I don't want to undo all my saves, actually, if I had to restart the game. I wanted to check something with, the number of plates to see if this was a translation mistake, but I do not want to reset my game. If I'm correct, there would have been 17 people in Okanjima, not 18. For every year until now, when Battler came in for it to become the 18th person. So now, the number of places that were lined up there was 19. That number was one more than were lined up during the family conference every year. Maybe I'm reading too much into this line, but this obviously, well, this kind of, maybe not. It's not that obvious. Maybe this is just me being weird. But this line definitely seems deliberate to me. I might be saying some bullshit, like I usually do for these videos, but still, this line just seems kind of deliberate, unless this is actually a translation mistake. Okay, this is gonna be the one time I'm gonna allow this, but is this a translation mistake, or is this line deliberate? This is gonna be the only time I'm actually going to ask you all down in the comments to tell me whether or not this was deliberate or not. I know it's stupid to have a clue right here, like this, but Rikishi is a clever motherfucker, and he just loves his sense of foreshadowing. Alright, you know what? I'm already off topic for this video, and you can go ahead and skip this scene if you don't want to hear me talk about Tatari Goroshi, spoilers, but in Tatari Goroshi, when you know what happens to Tatari Goroshi, some of the stuff that Rina tells Keiichi, what she tells him is basically what's about to happen in that game. Her description of what would you do if a catastrophic event like a volcanic eruption occurred and everyone died except for you. She basically says that to Keiichi, and how she's describing how days can quickly, good days can quickly end and change into something horrible. Like, okay, I might not be saying the exact correct things that Rina was saying, but that was the basis of what she said. Well, what happened at the end of Tatari Goroshi? In between the nights of June 22nd and June 23rd, a large-scale disaster broke out in Himizawa village, Shishibone. Volcanic gas erupted from underneath the ground, and as it spewed, it spread across the village. It is to be believed that every household afflicted were asleep during this event, most households. I don't remember the exact news report that happened in Tatari Goroshi, but still, Rikishi is a clever motherfucker who adds these sort of things into his text. So, I am partially to believe this line is a fucking clue if it's not a translation mistake. The number of plays that were lined up there was 19. That number was one more than were lined up during the family conference every year. It's a confusing foreshadow, but it could be one. 19. What happens if... Okay, this is wild. What happens if that 19 is only there for the people who are reading the second game for the first time, and then the people who are rereading it, I guess, will be able to understand the next line. That number was one more than were lined up during the family conference every year, which would have been 17 for the past few years. Am I misreading the text? Am I making a huge mistake by having this segment in here? Probably. But it was something that I wanted to go ahead and point out because this line really stands out to me. Anyways, where were we? Oh yeah, Gohda. Okay, we were at Gohda. I can't accept it.
どうして私が直接お届けに上がってはならないのですか
Gohda-san was flaring up at Genji, paying no heed to the pot that was boiling over. The master enjoys having his food alone in his study, so the food must be set out in the study. Of course, this is nothing new, you understand. Gohda-san would really like to set the table for the master with his own hands, as he puts his heart and soul into his cooking. But the master had imposed a strict rule that none but the servants bearing the crest of the Golden Eagle could enter his study. So while Gohda-san could greet the master from outside the study, not once had he been granted the honor of carrying his cooking into the study. Gohda-san was always unsatisfied with this. Of course, he knows he is a newcomer in terms of years of service. However, he has accumulated plenty of experience from his previous jobs, and he is strongly confident that he would be able to conduct himself properly, even in front of Kinzo, in a way that would not insult him. And yet, just because he is not permitted the Golden Eagle, he still hasn't been blessed with this honor.
それが彼のプライドをどれほど傷つけていたか想像できるでしょうか
I forgot, you're like the narrator for all the servants.
では今夜も再びそれを蒸し返しているのかというとそうではありません。今夜は親方様の他にもお部屋まで食事を運んでもらいたいという方がおられるからです。その人物は非常に稀な賓客らしく、当主である親方様と同格の扱いをするようにきつく言動されておりました。合田さんはこの賓客にぜひ自らの手で配膳してポイントを稼ぎたかったに違いありません。虚栄心のお強い方でございますから。親方様に配膳する資格はなくてもせめてそれと同格の来客には。昼食はどうしても手が空かずカノンさんに言ってもらった。だから一年で最高の晩餐である今夜の食事をぜひ自分の手で配膳したかったのです。ですがそれを源氏さんに咎められたのでございます。合田さんに片翼の足がないからということのようです。再び資格がないと咎められ合田さんの堪忍袋の緒が切れてしまったのでございます。ああ、おいたわしや合田さん。私は物陰からこうして見守るしかないのでございます。
熊沢さん、油を売っている暇があったら食堂の準備をしてきてください。テーブルクロスは大丈夫ですか？
Oh, he's ready to fight.
これは失礼を。
When it became her turn to bear the brunt, Kumasawa softly disappeared into the hall. I love that sound effect they had her make.
ベアトリーチェ様は親方様と全く同格のお方です。ルールも親方様のそれと同じものを尊ばなくてはならない。ゴーダは 自分の仕事に専念し、親族の皆さんのお相手をするよう。
そのようなお客様相手に源氏さんならともかくこんな子供を生かせていいのですか？もし何かの粗相があったら失礼にあたります。確かに彼らの年季は長いですが、しかるべきところで修行をしたことがあるわけじゃない。正直に申し上げてお客様に接する基礎ができていないのです。
But, Gohda, you entertain people that are, you know, normal guests. This is the fucking Ushimiya family, Gohda. So you need to be a little bit crazy yourself in order to serve the people who run this train wreck. Gohda spoke bluntly, even though Shannon was waiting right there in the kitchen. Shannon was the one who Genji had ordered to carry the food to Beatrice's room. By the ranking system among the servants permitted the Golden Eagle, Shannon was indeed the second highest ranked. If the highest ranked, Genji, went to set the table in Kinzo's room, then it fell to Shannon to set the table in Beatrice's room. Gohda's pride was always horribly injured when he was confronted with this ranking system. In times like that, he would speak out bluntly and rudely about Shannon and Kanon. Gohda kept raising example after example, yeah, that's what I meant to say. Example after example of Shannon's past failures, making a ruckus about how this was wrong and that was wrong. As Shannon listened to this, with her head hung in shame, she heard Kanon's voice from behind her. Kanon had been listening from a blind spot, leaning against the hallway side of the wall near the entrance to the kitchen. He probably knew that if he entered the kitchen, sparks would start to fly his way.
言わせておきなよ。最低の男だ。
でも接待の基礎の勉強になるし、ゴーダさんはたくさん勉強してるからとても参考に。
姉さんは優しいね。
それより貴賓室のお客様がベアトリーチェ様だというのは本当なの？
うん。昼食の配膳に行かされた時にあった。間違いなくあいつだったよ。
そう。お元気そうだった？
Kanon remembered that he and Shannon had different impressions of Beatrice. To Shannon, Beatrice was a cupid of love, who had granted her magic to create her relationship with George. Judging by her happy expression, it looked like she couldn't wait to inform Beatrice of how her relationship with George had progressed. However, Kanon already knew. That witch had come here with a terrifying golden mine. That vague witch, in the past only visible to them, had now walked in opening through the front door, and had revived enough that they could now carry food to her. Oh, carry food to her. In the past, when she had disappeared from in front of Kanon, the witch had said something about how her own power was still weak. Now that the witch could appear openly like this, did that mean she had finally returned to her former power? And she had said clearly that she had sown the seeds of love with the knowledge that it would fail. She had said also, God, why is there so many repeating words? She had said clearly that the day had finally come when the door to the Gold Land would be open. This is very poetic.
シャノン、あいつは親方様と何かの怪しげな儀式をし、きっと想像もできない恐ろしいことをする。それには誰も抗えない。
何の話なの？
あいつはやってきたんだ。親方様が求めた黄金鏡の扉を開き、全てを黄金鏡に戻すために。あいつは僕に確かにそう言った。
In the past, the two of them, as furniture working for Kinzo, have been told what the opening of the door to the Gold Land meant. Therefore, even without asking a single question in response, Shannon understood everything. So, she grew deeply hopeless. Something tore at Kanon's heart as he saw her expression twist with grief.
そうだ。
Wounds.
どうして今になって。
だから言ったんだ。僕らは家具だって。人間の真似事なんかして恋なんかするから。僕たちの役目の終わるこの日を素直に受け入れられない。
いつかこの日が訪れることをかつては願ってた。でもいつまで経っても訪れなくて、私たちはいつまで家具として苦しめばいいのかわからなくて。だから私思ったの。安息の日なんて永遠に訪れないんだって。
僕だってそう思ってたさ。でも必ずいつか訪れるって僕は信じてた。だから僕は家具としての自覚を忘れなかったんだ。なのに姉さんは忘れた。
私が悪いのね。私が。
ああ、姉さんが悪い。姉さんさえ恋を覚えなかったら、僕たちはようやく訪れた今日を喜び合うはずだった。姉さんがくだらない未練を作ってしまったんだ。必ず去らなければならない世界なのに。
儀式は今夜始まるの？
あとあいつは僕に言った。今夜ジョージ様は姉さんに婚約指輪を贈るだろうって。
You had to spoil it. You had to spoil the surprise. That was a fact. George should have snuck in George should have snuck in an engagement ring in his pocket today. And surely he would hand it over tonight.
あいつは姉さんとジョージ様を第二の番の生贄に使うつもりで二人の仲をくっつけたんだ。わかる？姉さんはあいつにそそのかされた上利用されたんだよ。
But because you knelt to her, didn't you technically spare her from being second Twilight? Technically, yes, you did, Kanon. So, I think I know who's the replacement second.
そうだったの。考えたこともなかったわ。
でもあいつは言ったよ。もし今夜その婚約指輪を受け取らなかったなら姉さんを生贄に選ばないと約束した。僕たちが揃って黄金鏡へ行ける確率はとても低いと思う。13人が生贄になる。生き残るのは5人だけ。 その中に僕たち2人が入れる確率は本当に低い。でも姉さんだけでもその約束が得られるなら確率はもっと上がる。僕はかけたいんだ。黄金鏡には救いがある。僕たちはそこへたどり着き、人間を手に入れるんだ。
Hold on. Let me pause real quick about the Golden Land. Let me pause you about the Golden Land real quick, because, the last chapter's tea party. I have a question about last chapter's tea party. Was that the Golden Land? Was that the Golden Land? In that last chapter, was that the Golden Land? Because if it was, Battler, Jessica, George, and Maria were there. But then there was also Kanon and Shannon. Shannon was sacrificed in the first Twilight, while Kanon, well, he was my thumb. While Kanon, he was sacrificed as the fifth Twilight. The rules of the Golden Land, to me, just sound very weird. It just sounds very weird. Because technically the ones who survived at the end of Umineko, the last chapter, were Jessica, George, Battler, and Maria. With technicalities as well. Like, let me put in one technicality. With the technicality of, the only person who was not technically a sacrifice was Natsuie. Natsuie was not a sacrifice. But she did die at the end by shooting herself. I actually can't think of a reason why she did that. Maybe it was to, help send George and Jessica's loved ones to the Golden Land, so she had to sacrifice herself? Like, was it a sacrifice she did? Or was there something more to it? Because I know there's a reason why they had Natsuie kill herself. Like, there was a reason why they had Natsuie kill herself. But was it her trying to sacrifice herself so that Jessica and George's loved ones would be also sent to the Golden Land for everything to be fucked over by Battler? Battler fucked over the Golden Land in the previous chapter. Let's be honest here. Battler fucked everyone. So maybe the rules are all over the place because of Battler's meddling. Maybe everyone went to the Golden Land. Maybe everyone was there, but now only 5 people can go. With technicalities, probably, because I don't think 5 people are gonna go to the fucking Golden Land, let's be honest here. 5 people are not gonna go. But, I digress. Battler fucked everything. So the rules, I have no clue what the hell these rules are. I'm just, jumping on more and more bikes in this bike race like Kinzo, trying to figure out the truth of Umineko as I continue on playing. I'm trying to figure out the fucking truth. And all the theories I state, I have not declared any of them to be what I believe is going on because I'm still on the question arcs. So I can't solidify what I think is going on. Except for one thing. There's one thing I will solidify that I do believe in. And it's the fucking theory of Kyrie being Battler's real mom. I have no proof at all for this. Except for the lines. Wait a second. Oh, yeah, okay. They have been business partners for a considerable length of time before the passing of his first wife, and Rudolph married his current wife, Kyrie, straight after his former wife, Asumu, died. I'm sorry, but this seems really convenient. It's a stupid theory. I don't even think it has that much to do with the story of Umineko in general. It has nothing to do with Umineko at all, I bet. But it's still a stupid theory that I got up with about, Kyrie maybe being Battler's mom. Actually, before I get back to the game, maybe I should clarify one thing. I'm not for sure, 100% sure whether or not Battler did the correct thing by, destroying the Golden Land in the first game. I'm not for sure if Battler did the right or wrong thing, but he at least, ensured that he's going to try to find the truth. Like, by him refusing the Golden Land, he's just trying to uncover the truth as to what's going on by refusing the safe route of, let's just forget about it. No. He's like, fuck it. Something's not right here, and I'm gonna fucking figure it out. And Beatrice just agreed to his little game. Like, she agreed, saying, alright, I'll play your game, Balor. So yeah, I don't know if Balor did the correct thing by destroying the Happy Land, but he did ensure to us all that he is going to try solving the mystery.
そして姉さんと二人で人間としての人生を歩みたいんだよ。そうすれば本当の恋だってできるかもしれない。
かつての私たちは黄金鏡へ行けることを夢見てたね。そこへ行けばどんな願いでも叶う。
Oh, maybe that's why Ken and Shannon were sent to the Golden Land, because George and Jessica wished for them to be there. Maybe, yeah, I might have to retrace some of the stuff I said earlier, because they might have wished for them.
私たちをこの苦しみから救ってくれる。
But wait, going from those rules, couldn't you, if you could wish for anything, couldn't you, No. Balor's right. You know what? I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna play it like this. Balor is in the right for refusing the Golden Land. Yes, Balor is in the right for refusing the Golden Land because he's trying to make everyone not run away from their problem. God, am I really gonna take that? Am I really gonna take that part with siding with Balor? I mean, maybe I should. Maybe Balor's in the right, or maybe he is in the wrong.
そう信じてた。
However, in this ritual, only a few people, chosen by fate and chance, would be invited to the Golden Land. Everyone else would lose their life as a sacrifice midway through the ceremony. In the past, Shannon and Kanon had thought that whether they reached the Golden Land or were made sacrifices, it would all be the same, because they would be released from their duties as furniture either way. So in short, the ritual had been nothing. My God. I am not reading correctly. English I read. So, in short, the ritual had been something that would definitely grant release to furniture like them.
僕は嫌だ。これまでの辛かった分を姉さんと取り戻したい。
Maybe I'm getting hot. Like whenever I'm starting to get hot and sweaty, I, tend to get a little more dehydrated. Even though I have water in here with me, I may be getting a little dehydrated, and that's why I'm not reading correctly. So I'm turning on my fan, even though it's fucking October. It shouldn't be this damn hot. Fucking global warming. Anyways, let's get back to the recording.
Ikenie なんてごめんだ。僕と姉さんは生き残る。そして二人で黄金鏡へたどり着く。だから姉さんを第二の番の生贄になんかさせない。
Kanon, let me play this. Let me play with you real quick. What if one of you were to survive? Couldn't you wish that the other gets revived and sent to the Gold Land with you? But wait, hold on. Also, let me also point this out real quick to you, Kanon. In the epitaph, the witch bestows 4 treasures. One resurrects all the dead people's souls and revives all the wealth they possess. So, the goal that you're going for technically is wrong. Because in the Golden Land, everyone is resurrected. Their souls at the least are resurrected. And the love they possess gets revived within the Golden Land. So I am playing with you right now and challenging you against all of what you're saying to Shannon, because using the knowledge of the epitaph and of insight of if you go to the Golden Land, you can wish for whatever you want. You, sir, are not that correct by doing what you're doing right now. With technicalities of the rules, you can always bend the rules if you can wish for whatever you want in the Golden Land. If one of you survives, like, if the witch doesn't resurrect everyone, couldn't you say in the Golden Land, hey, this is the Golden Land, I can get whatever I want with my wishes, so bring them back to life, you bitch! Couldn't you just say that? But of course, there might be, you know, a double side to that, because Beatrice is a witch, a demon witch, actually. A demon who always gets something in return for whenever someone asks her for a wish. Whenever somebody gets a wish from her, she tries to get something in return. So, yeah, if you do make that wish, that might backfire, so you do have a point. Maybe. You do have a point. But you could also wish that her payment gets reversed through any wish, because any wish can be fulfilled in the Golden Land! God, I think half of this video is just me making jokes about Umineko rather than actually playing it. I'm sorry.
頼むよ姉さん。あの男の指輪を受け取らないで。それを受け取らなければ、あいつは姉さんを生贄には選ばないと約束してくれた。
それはできないよ。今夜の指輪はとても特別なもの。それを受け取らないことは私の心が許さない。
姉さん、儀式の生贄は魔女が気まぐれに決めることになってる。その魔女が姉さんだけは見逃すと約束してくれたんだよ。姉さんだけは絶対に黄金鏡へ行けるんだ。
私だけ？カノン君は？
僕は魔女のゲームで十分さ。あいつの魔女なんかかいくぐってやる。僕は無力じゃない。わずかの確率を無理やり掴み取ってやる。僕たちのせいなんて所詮は仮初めじゃないか。本当の人生を始めるために僕たちは黄金鏡へたどり着こう。そして人間を手に入れよう。そうしたらさ、僕も姉さんみたいに恋が知れるかな。もう家具だからって人を泣かせずに済むかな。
Your voice is cracking. You already know a little bit of love, but you don't understand it.
カノン君。
僕はもう家具は嫌だ。絶対に人間になってやる。こんな苦しみから絶対に。
There were tears in Kanon's eyes. It had taken Kanon until now to notice. Shannon... Yep, I called it. Shannon had been the only one to know and suffer the taste of love. He had too. The tears Jessica had shown him that day, and her painful smiles on all the days since as she tried to smooth things over and brighten her mood, had slowly wrought some kind of change on Kanon's heart without him knowing it.
Shannon, さっきから呼んでいる。
Shannon snapped to reality at the sudden sound of Genji's voice. Apparently, she had been called for repeatedly. She hurriedly answered. When she turned around, Kanon had disappeared. It seemed like he didn't feel like showing his tears to anybody.
はい。ぼや やりしていてすみません。
昼食はカノンに頼んだが、本来は私の次の序列のお前が運ぶべきものだ。ベアトリーチェ様は当家の最高の賓客だ。それ以上の賓客はいない。もう一人の親方様と思い、丁重に頼む。
よろしいですか。くれぐれも粗相のないようにお願いしますよ。経験の未熟なあなたに託すのは非常に心苦しいですが、当家のルールとあっては仕方ありません。くれぐれも頼みますよ。
Gohda had officially agreed, but he threatened Shannon with an expression that told her that he definitely wouldn't forgive any mistakes. Shannon, too, thought that Gohda should do it if he wanted to get to that much. But considering it as her responsibility as one who had been granted the Golden Eagle, she had to give up. Besides, I wanted to meet Beatrice. What will I talk about? What will I ask? I don't know. Will I show gratitude? Or else grief? Or else what? I don't know. Shannon loaded the witch's food onto the serving cart and left the kitchen with a slow gait. Of course. The person knocking was Klaus.
お父さん、今日は年に一度の親族会議です。お父さんを一目見ようと兄弟が揃ったのではありませんか。
黙れ。出ぬと言っている。源氏、そこにいるのであろう。なぜ私の指示した通りに食事をここへ運ばせんのか。
Kinzo screamed through the door. Genji was waiting behind Klaus.
お食事は書斎へ運べるよう準備しております。ただクラウス様が今夜はどうか下へ降りていただきたいと。
お父さん、毎日とは言いません。せめて今夜だけでも家族で揃ってはくれませんか。
誰が家族か。貴様はいつから生き倒れを待つハゲタカたちを家族と呼ぶようになったのか。腐り手湧き出すウジ虫を家族と呼ぶようになったのか。
やれやれ。
Klaus shrugged at this answer, which he half expected.
源氏、言われた通りに食事をここへ運べ。なぜ言うことを聞かぬ。なぜ
源氏さん、後を頼みます。もうあの人に私の声は届かんね。
Klaus gave his head a small shake, and quickly turned his back on the door to the study. He had only called out for his sibling's sake, knowing it was useless. After Genji watched Klaus go down the stairs, he called again through the door.
親方様、お食事を運ぶ準備はできております。南條先生の分はいかがいたしますか。
Nanjo was also in the study. I forgot Nanjo. I forgot that you existed. Because Kinzo had strongly pestered him about resolving their long-lasting chess game. Nanjo had been Kinzo's opponent since before evening. Nanjo had announced as a doctor that Kinzo's days were numbered. In that situation, if Kinzo pestered him about finishing a chess game while he was still alive, Nanjo couldn't refuse. Kinzo was thinking deeply about his move, concentrating more than usual. It had been Kinzo's turn for quite some time, and Nanjo, who was tired of waiting, had started randomly pulling out grimoires that he couldn't understand and skimming through them.
Kinzo さん、盤面を前に腕を組むだけではいい一手は出ませんぞ。一つ休憩をして頭をリフレッシュしてみるのもいいのではありませんかな。黙れ。守りはこれで十分か。ビショップやナイトに隙間を突かれはしないか。
Today, Kinzo was insistent on a strong defense. Normally, Kinzo's motto was that defense was the best defense. However, today was completely the opposite.
私も腹が減りました。
Wild ass theory coming in. I have been ranting for most of this episode, and you know what? Fuck it. At this point, I'm just enjoying this game too much that I just want to keep on theorizing and talking about it while also playing it. This video series is going to be a long one, but it's going to be a fun one for me. So, wild theory, throwing it out here right now. So, this kind of coincides partially with my Kinzo ghost theory, but it could also apply to, you know, Kinzo still being alive. Kinzo, this chess game against Nanjo. This is crazy. This chess game against Nanjo. Kinzo the whole time, through the method of chess, is actually, you know, plotting out his moves to defend himself in Beatrice's game. The chess game against Nanjo is just a metaphor of how Kinzo's gonna fare in each, you know, in each timeline. This is so out there. I can't believe I'm making this theory right now, but this is so out there. I'll probably go back to this in episode 3 if it comes up, but every time Kinzo's playing a chess game, he's trying to, you know, up his chances against Beatrice because, hear me out on this, the moves that Nanjo's doing represents Beatrice's moves onto his family. Each of the pieces that Kinzo has is a family member of his, and he is the king. This is stupid, actually. This is probably one of the stupidest theories I could think up of. Because there's 16 pieces in chess. What happens if there's 2 pieces that Kinzo does not account for? AKA, the 2 pieces that he never accounts for would probably be the piece that belongs to, you know, Battler, since he's never really been there. But I don't know who the other piece would belong to, because Kinzo has to be the king. And the end goal of Kinzo, of this game, is for Kinzo to stay alive and go to the Golden Land so that he can see Beatrice again. Though, it could also work with the ghost theory, and he's no longer the king, and he's one of the off pieces like Battler. Because I'm saying this now, Battler's not on the chessboard. He's not on the chessboard. He's actually playing a different game of chess with Beatrice himself. But this game of chess, Kinzo's playing against Nanjo. And this is a wild, wild thing to say. But what as if, like, Battler is playing the game with Beatrice? What as if Kinzo's game with Nanjo is a being like Beatrice? God, oh my god, I have to pull up his image. Actually, I have to pull up his image. Okay. Alright. Would it be possible for Nanjo to actually be something like Beatrice? He himself is a witch in a homunculus form that looks like a human and is playing around with Kinzo like Beatrice is playing around with Battler. What as if, due to the tricks of Beatrice, more witches and warlocks and wizards, I don't know, would it be wizards then? Would Nanjo be a wizard with this theory? But anyways, Kinzo's chess game with Nanjo, it's a representation of Nanjo a wizard in Kinzo. Kinzo, he's not playing Beatrice's game only, he's playing Nanjo's game to heighten his chances of winning Beatrice's game. He's playing 2 games at once with 2 different demons. Now, what would Nanjo gain from this as a wizard? Who knows? Maybe he's trying to stick it up to Beatrice because Beatrice is a well-known witch. If Beatrice is a well-known witch for Bern Castile, to watch her games, there's gotta be someone out there who wants to fuck over Beatrice because of how popular she is. And Nanjo could be that wizard trying to, you know, screw over Beatrice to basically say, yeah, that's right. Who's the top magic user now? Is it you, Beatrice? No, it's me because I messed your game up. I messed your game up and I let Kinzo, the person who's least likely to survive this game, survive your fucking game, Beatrice. So yes, maybe that does slightly debunk the Ghost Kinzo theory, but at the same time, why as if that's the case? Nanjo is a wizard who's trying to fuck over Beatrice because he is jealous of how much influence and power she has. Or, Bern Castile is pretending to be Nanjo. Why as if Nanjo is actually Bern Castile trying to mess with Beatrice? In order to be bored, why not play with the living? So why as if Bern Castile is Nanjo? Or a homunculus, like Nanjo's a homunculus for Bern Castile. That is much more unlikely. That's much more unlikely because Nanjo's been a longtime friend of Kinzo's. But it could. Who knows? This Beatrice that came to the mansion, well, it's either Beatrice herself or homunculus of Beatrice. So who's to say that Nanjo's not one either? Who's to say that Nanjo's not one? He's an enigma. The rest of these characters have a defined relationship to the family. Nanjo's just the self-proclaimed best friend and doctor of Kinzo. Or he could be a wizard or Bern Castile trying to stick it to the witch of Beatrice after her 1,000 years of playing games and being a well-known and powerful witch, as if they're trying to one-up Beatrice. So, some random wizard or even Bern Castile herself is trying to stick it up to Beatrice. Yep. Nanjo, I don't trust you. I don't trust you, Nanjo. This is a stupid sounding... This is actually stupid. Like, this is actually one of the stupidest sounding theories, but it could be what's going on. It could be what's going on. I don't think anything could top this. I don't think anything could top what I just said. I don't think I should make any more theories in this video because that was the peak of this video. That was the peak of this video.
ここいらで中断しませんか。それに休みなく頭を回転させておりましたからもう頭がクラクラです。これ以上は私も最善手をさせるとは限りませんぞ。
Oh, you gotta keep on playing then, Kinzo.
それは困る。チェスは互いに常に最善手を指さねばならん。
Oh, he's a man of honor, so he wouldn't do that then.
そうでない一手は理解に苦しみ、思考を読むゲームを狂わせてしまう。それでは今日を著しくそぐというものだ。
Oh, he's at least considerate. Kinzo sighed deeply and finally shifted his gaze away from the board. Chess needs an opponent. That opponent was tired and suggesting to suspend the game. So what else could be done?
確かにチェスの目的は勝利を目指すことで互いにそのために最善手を指す。そしてそれを読み合う知的ゲームです。ですが勝利以外にもう一つ目的があることを金蔵さんはお忘れではありませんかな。
I didn't mean to do that.
なんだと？勝利以外にどんな目的があるというのか。
Well then, BP. Oh, Nanjo, what are you gonna say?
金蔵さんがそんなこともお忘れとは。チェスを通し、親友と楽しい時間を過ごす。
No, wait. No, don't be sweet. No, wait.
ですぞ。
No, don't be sweet. No, I just got up with a really good theory with you. Don't do this.
参ったな。それは確かずいぶん昔に私がお前に言った言葉だったはず。
Oh no, am I No, Nanjo, wait! No! He might actually be innocent!
これは参った。
Kinzo, who normally wore a frown, surprisingly relaxed his face and laughed. Is Nanjo actually not magical? Or no, he's gotta be magical. Is he? Is he magical? God damn it, I think I made a whole... God, just a minute after I said that theory, why do you... No! I'm not letting you trick me, Rikishi! I'll bear through the sweet seed. One of the very few sweet seeds with Kinzo. I will bear through this. Come on, no! You are not doing this to me. Nanjo felt like he had been reunited with a close friend he hadn't seen in a long time.
そういうことです。一本取られたついでにどうです？私と下に降りて食事と行きませんかな。食後にコーヒーと一緒にカスパロフの中盤についての議論でもいかがです？
良い提案だが遠慮する。私はもうこの部屋から出られない。
Because I'm stuck in this room for eternity as a ghost.
儀式は始まっているのでな。
そうですか。では私はお腹もペコペコですからな。下へ降りることにします。気が向いたらいつでも。
南條、ありがとう。
Stop playing that song. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Don't stop. Stop it, Rikishi. Are you tricking me or are you not? Damn it. There is a fault at, playing the game in the way I'm doing it. Playing the game where you're constantly making theories on the fly. Because things like this, like you make a theory, and then 1 minute afterwards you have to double guess yourself, so I have to stop double guessing myself. I need to stop double guessing myself. Nanjo is trying to get back at Beatrice, but maybe, he's not against Kinzo, they really are friends. There we go! They really are friends! It's just that Nanjo doesn't like Beatrice. He wants to have Kinzo all to himself. I am making Kinzo out to be a bigger Chad than I intended. I think maybe in episode 1, in episode 1, I think I said Natsui might be into him. What? Is like another wizard, witch, or maybe even Burgast Steelers Kinzo? No, I should stop that. I should stop that now. Yeah, okay, I think I made a big mistake. I think I did a big mistake with that theory. I'm sorry, everyone. Debunked!
何の例ですかな？
お前とのチェスの決着はつかなかった。だが、私が忘れていたチェスの目的はどうやら果たせたらしい。 それはどうもチェックメイトと同じくらい重要なものであったらしい。
らしくもない。何の干渉ですかな。
お前が言ったのではないか。私には余命がないと。もう行け。そしてもうこの部屋へ来るな。続きは黄金鏡であろう。
いいですが、仕切り直しですぞ。ルークが落ちてしまったのは痛手ですのでな。それでは後ほど。
ああ、後ほどな。黄金鏡か煉獄か、あるいは次の世で。
He's aware. He's aware. Nanjo didn't say anything beyond that. And with a practiced hand, he pushed the button on the table that would release the auto lock. Then, after looking at Kinzo's back one last time, he left the study. As he did, Genji's voice came from the hall.
それでは親方様、これより夕食をお運びいたします。
最後の晩餐になるやもしれぬ。味わわねばな。準備を頼む。
かしこまりました。親方様のご準備の方は万端となりましたか。
この部屋を今日まで問えはたえの結界で厳重に包んだ。あれのルーレットが私を選ぼうとも必ずや弾き返す。そして生き残り黄金鏡へたどり着くうちの一人は絶対に私となる。
He's definitely one of the smartest characters.
私を冥府へ連れ去ろうとする死神どもの来訪をも拒もうぞ。
失礼します。お食事の準備に参りました。
Shannon entered the VIP room, bowing her head and pushing the serving cart. The young woman by the window, apparently gazing out into the impenetrable darkness outside, was unmistakably that witch.
今度はシャノンか。
Melody, instrumental version. Is there a non-instrumental?
懐かしいな。ほう、顔色がだいぶ良くなったではないか。カノンとは違うな。見違えたぞ。
ありがとうございます。
Shannon saw me prepare dinner. There were actually several things that she wanted to ask and talk with the witch about. But those things were all jumbled up, and she didn't know where to start. Her heart was also jumbled up with various things, and she didn't even understand her own emotions. Therefore, still remaining vague, all she could do was to carry out her work indifferently. However, the witch guessed that what was in her heart. You can't hide things from a witch.
謝らぬぞ。わらわは魔女だからな。
何がでしょう。
おや、カノンから聞かされたであろう。 そなたの恋路を助けたのはわらわの単なるいたずらごいかにしてこじれねじれ破綻するかを鑑賞するためにまいた種に過ぎぬと。
Come, Kanon must have told you about it. Helping out your love life was simply my mischievous spirit. It was nothing more than a seed I sowed in order to enjoy witnessing in what manner things would get complicated, become twisted, and fail.
恋はするより聞く方が楽しい方もおられるでしょう。
まさかわらわに感謝しようというのではあるまいな。
はい。あなたが私にどんな下心があって恋の魔法を授けたとしても、あなたが私に与えてくれたものは変わらない。だから添い遂げられないと知りつつまいた種であったとしても、私は恨んだりしません。
やはり家具というのは面白みのないそれを面白く調理するのがわらわの腕の見せ所よの。
私にベアトリーチェ様のお考えは分かりません。あなたは私たちなど足元にも及ばない大魔女で、その遠大な資料など想像するにも至りません。でも一つだけ言えることがある。
なんだ。
私に人間を教えてくれてありがとう。あなたが言った。私はもう家具じゃない。
黙れ家具。真の人間ならば婚約指輪を受け取ろうという日に告げられた死の宣告に嘆き狂いて踊り出すだろう。なのにそなたはなんだ。達観し全てを受け入れたような顔つきではないか。実に拍子抜けだぞ家具。
いいえ、私は家具じゃない。
黙れ家具。
黙りません。家具ではありませんから。
わらわの命令が聞けぬというか。
家具なら命令に従います。でも人間は命令に従うかどうかを自分で決めます。だから私はあなたの命令に従わない。
前言を撤回する。やはり面白いぞ。種をまかねばそなたは何の感情も抱かず儀式に身を任せただろう。しかし今のそなたは実に面白く育ち、わらわを心底楽しませてくれるぞ。それでいい。わらわは退屈を愛さないのだから。
お夕食の準備が整いました。どうぞ。
なかなかうまそうではないか。ゴーダが黄金鏡へたどり着くことがあればわらわの料理長に任命してやってもよかろう。
カノン君に聞きました。私にジョージさんの婚約を断らせれば私を生贄にしないなんて約束をしたとか。
したぞ。そなたは第二の晩にうってつけの生贄候補だったのだがな。カノンがそれを許せと泣いて叫ぶので寛大に聞き入れてやったのよ。そなたが婚約を破棄すればとの条件付きでな。わらわのなんと寛大なことよ。
条件、そしてなんてバカな脅迫。そんなものでカノン君をいじめ抜いたというの。
I love you, Shannon. I love you.
ほう、わかるのか。
Apparently, Shannon had seen through it. Apparently, she could imagine how much Kanon had been bullied and humiliated by the witch with that horrible promise as bait.
絨毯に這いつくばらせ、わらわの靴にキスをさせてやったぞ。それだけではない。他にどのような恥ずかしめを与えたか聞きたいか。
Shannon silently shook her head.
あなたという人を私はようやく理解しました。あなたは人をいじめ、惑わせ、困らせて、それを楽しみ、糧にしている。
And that brings me back to something real quick. Nanjo may not be, my theory about Nanjo might still be alive, because Beatrice may be the bad witch, while Nanjo might be a good one, who is trying to save everyone in the end. Through some weird tactics. Maybe. I don't have a lot of basis for Nanjo also being a wizard or witch, but he could be a good one, fighting against the bad one, Beatrice. If that's how it works. I don't think this is how this game's gonna work, but if there's like a whole, battle of good and evil, which it's probably not gonna be the case, but if there's like a whole battle between good and evil, it'll be evil Beatrice versus the good Nanjo. Let's get back to the scene, I'm sorry.
だから、あなたに抵抗する唯一の方法がこれであると確信した。
なんだ。
あなたなんか知らない。私は私に与えられた運命を全うする。だからあなたを面白がらせたりしない。
あなたなんか知らない。
The witch's features twisted in hatred for just an instant. It disappeared immediately. But that expression that rose to her face for only a brief time was unusual for the witch, who had never broken her malicious smile.
そういう抗い方もあるか。面白い。気に入った。殺してやる。お前の思い人と一緒にな。
それがあなたに決められた運命ならば、ご推意味。
Shannon just fucking said, do it. Wow. I don't even think I'm halfway through this chapter, and I'm already almost exhausted. This is gonna be an interesting video towards the end, I guess.
私はそれに怯えたり逆らったりしません。これから起こる苛烈な運命があなたの意志によるものだなんて信じないから。私たち人間は未来に起こりうる運命など知らない。だからこそ最後の瞬間まで自分の信念と運命に従い精一杯生き抜く。運命はただのサイコロの目。そこに悪意なんて感じない。あなたが吹き込もうと信じない。
ほう、家具をやめたくせに死を恐れぬとはな。それがわらわを退屈させると思っているようだが、それは大きな誤解だぞ。そなたが本当に最後の瞬間までそれを貫けるか、ますます興味が湧いた。
私は悔しい。どうしてあなたは人の姿をして私たちの前に現れ、 人の言葉で語り、私たちを嘲笑うのか。私たちの前に現れず、運命を予告しなかったなら、私たちは最後の一瞬まで精一杯生きられるのに。
それが魔女というものよ。貴様らの運命を食い物に、工事の存在として定時の存在の上に君臨する。そなたらの運命など所詮はかけら。両手で碗を作ればいくらでも救える。わらわに飼われた肉牛どもが何をほざこうとも、わらわの食卓を楽しませる結果に変わりはせぬのに同じこと。
無力な私たちには、あなたの儀式にも運命にも抗うことなどできない。しかしあなたに今すぐ不愉快な思いをさせることはできる。
ほう、それは何か。
今すぐここを立ち去ることです。あなたの言葉に答えることは全てあなたを楽しませている。あなたの問いかけに答えないことがあなたへ唯一できる抵抗です。
なるほどなるほど。一矢報いることはできよう。しかしわらわを倒すことはできぬぞ。わらわは誰しもを永遠に殺す力を持っている。永遠に繰り返し殺される輪廻の中で、そなたがいつまでその抵抗をできるのか、実に楽しみだ。忘れるなよ。自らが口にした言葉。
それでは失礼いたします。ご用がありましたらお呼びください。
Did Shannon, in servant terms, just say, fuck you, to Beatrice? I'm gonna have to applaud you again, girl. Oh my god. Fuck yes. Fuck yes. Shannon gave a reserved bow as she would to a stranger, and faced away. With that gesture, maybe she really had taken a shot back at the witch, just as Beatrice had mentioned. Because when the witch called out again, she sounded a little more quick-tempered than she had before.
カノンはわらわに感謝したぞ。そなたは感謝せぬのか。安息の日をわらわが与えることを。
家具なら安息の日を喜びましょう。ですが私は人間ですので、だからあなたに感謝することはありません。ご用はそれだけですか？
ジョージから指輪をもらうつもりであろう。受け取ればわらわがカノンと交わしたそなたを生贄に選ばないという約束を破棄すること、忘れるな。
まだご用があるなら他のものを来させますので。それでは失礼いたします。
A flat-out interruption. Shannon gave no more answers. And the sound of the door closing came instead of an answer. It seemed that Shannon's resistance had probably struck far more deeply into the witch than Shannon herself had thought. Because an expression of hatred had once again risen to Beatrice's face. She had made Kanon submit, even though he hadn't been taken in until the end. Yet, after that, now it was Shannon who refused to submit, when until now, she had been easily taken in.
なんだ
やはりこれは面白いことではないか。わらわもまだまだ若いか。これだから1000年は生き飽きぬのよ。
Oh my god. Wow. And are we getting the dinner? Yep, we're getting the dinner scene. The most fabulous time in the family conference. That was dinner. Back when Kinzo had been serious about the family conference, he had placed an extreme importance upon this dinner, for which everyone would gather just once a year. Should the dinner not meet standards, he would take it as the deepest shame for himself as the host. And he had strongly ordered Natsui to make absolutely sure that it was one to be proud of. Because of that, she and Klaus had employed Gohda, who had confidence in his cooking abilities. As a result, they could unveil a wonderful dinner they had confidence in. Yet, by that time, Kinzo had started closing himself up in his study and no longer appeared for dinner. Maybe you could call that ironic. When the main dish for tonight, calf steak, was set out, Gohda began to brag about it, furthering exciting everyone's appetite. Novelette.
こちらソースはボルドレーズとなっております。ベースの赤ワインはもちろんボルドー産の中でも素晴らしいものを使用しておりますが、その他にも当家オリジナルブレンドとしまして世界各地数種類の名酒をブレンドしまして、より深い味わいとなりますよう整えてございます。このソースは本年限りのものでございます。どうかお楽しみいただければ幸いです。
素晴らしいじゃないか。しかしボルドレーズソースはフランス料理の王道ではないのかね。それにフランス以外の酒を使うのは少し邪道ではないかという気もするね。
旦那様、本日は年に一度の親族会議でございます。普段は遠方にお住まいの皆様がはるばるお越しになり、一堂に集われた夜の晩餐には世界各地より普段は出会うことのない名酒を取り寄せブレンドしたソースが何よりもふさわしいかと存じ、特別にご用意させていただいたのでございます。
素晴らしい。本当に素晴らしい料理人や。あんたは能書きが加わると料理も薬も効果は2倍になるっちゅうわけやな。元の料理のうまさも2倍、さらに能書きで2倍、味の倍々ゲームや。
いやね、兄さん、その質問読まれてたんじゃないの？
違いねえな。まんまと美味しいところを合田さんに持ってかれちまったぜ。
そうかね。今日の料理をフランス風だと気づいていない者もいるんじゃないかと思ってね。エヴァは先ほどバターを使わないのが美徳と言ったが、それはスペイン風だ。確かに国境を接してはいるがね。
そういう意味で言ったんじゃないわよ。話の一部分だけ抜き出して勝手に加工しないでくれるかしら。
とっても美味しいソースね。合田さんは本当に素晴らしいわ。
お褒めに預かり大変光栄です。これもすべて奥様の日頃のご指導のおかげでございます。
いえ、すべて合田のアイディアです。私はレシピを聞き承認しただけです。
Nice attempt, though. Nice attempt, man. It looked like the siblings quickly got into a loud argument about something as trivial as the sauce. But, for the most part, dinner proceeded peacefully. However, the thing that they all really wanted to ask about smoldered inside each of their hearts. And that was the visitor, the 19th person, the Golden Witch. In actuality, Ava, Rudolph, and Kyrie were on alert during dinner. If the mystery guest was to be introduced, this dinner table was the most appropriate place to do it. However, no plates had been prepared at the table for the witch. The family conference would begin in earnest after the meal, and previous experiences told them that it could last until deep into the night. But they couldn't understand what meaning there could be in keeping this person, who should be introduced, hidden late until the night at that store. So, Ava, Rudolph, and Kyrie had started to suspect something. That the guest might actually be unknown to Klaus as well. If she wasn't a saboteur called by Klaus to give him an advantage in the inheritance problem, they should probably speak frankly to Klaus beforehand, and create a common front to resist anything disadvantageous to the four siblings. If she was Kinzo's saboteur, whose purpose was to keep the inheritance from being handed over to the four siblings, the enmity between Klaus and the other siblings could become nothing more than a weak point that benefited the enemy.
それではごゆっくりお楽しみください。
With the table set and the cuisine explained, Gohda tried to leave the room, but Kyrie called him to stop with a small voice.
はい、キリエ様。何か？
ごめんなさい。今日はお客様がいらっしゃってると思ったんだけど、晩餐にはお見えにならないのかしら。
She had thought she'd said it nonchalantly, but unfortunately, it reached the ears of Natsui, who was sitting in the next seat. It seemed that Natsui had heard it to mean, even though there are guests here today, won't the host be coming to dinner? In other words, that Kyrie had asked whether Kinzo was going to come to dinner.
当主様は体調が優れられませんので、お部屋で食事をとると仰せです。主人が初めにそう説明いたしましたが、何か？ごめんなさい。そうじゃないの。
Wait, hold on. Is Valor at the dinner table, or did they forget to wake him up? In an instant, Kyrie realized from Natsui's reaction that this unknown visitor was also unknown to Klaus and his wife. And what that meant. On the chessboard placed inside Kyrie's mind, she could feel the arrangement of pieces changing, making loud clattering sounds.
客?
Okay, he is awake. It seemed that Battler, who was sitting next to Natsui, had heard Kyrie's words without misunderstanding them. And he let out in a wild voice, questioning who else could have been invited to family Hey, that was bad. He let out a wild voice, questioning who else could have been invited to today's family conference. Thanks to that voice, the uncomfortable feeling in the siblings' chest suddenly exploded. Everyone looked at Gohda at the same time. Judging by their appearances, it was obvious that at least no one here had invited that mystery woman. For an instant, Gohda was startled to find everyone's gaze gathered on him, but because of his naturally vain personality, this actually gave him a feeling of superiority. Therefore, he answered in an extremely calm and graceful manner.
はい。貴賓室でお一人で食事を取られたいとのことで、そちらへお運びしております。
Therefore, Gohda's extremely graceful and reasonable response made it obvious to everyone that a 19th person, a visitor, existed.
貴賓室？客？何の誰の話ですか？
Natsui's words echoed the question that everyone who didn't know about the visit of the Golden Witch was thinking. Gohda was slightly disoriented, as though he hadn't remotely expected to be questioned by Natsui. That honored guest had been spoken of so stringently, he had imagined that Klaus and his wife might have not known.
そのベアトリーチェ様でございます。
ベアトリーチェほらほらベアトリーチェ来てるでしょ
God, I'm getting way too giddy in this scene because I cannot wait for everyone to start freaking out. Like, that's why I am so giddy right now, because I am ready for this dinner to be going insane right now. Like, I cannot wait for everything to go crazy. I cannot wait. Though I'll try to focus on the words that are being displayed on the screen because this is a Let's Read. I should be able to read. I should. Maria had been telling the other cousins over and over again that she had met Beatrice today. The cousins had answered, saying, "Isn't that nice?" But they hadn't believed. So, their eyes grew wide.
すまねえ。俺はてっきりマリアの冗談だと思ってたぜ。あ、本当にいたんだな。
ベアトリーチェってあの黄金のベアトリーチェなのかよ。
Whoa.
マリアはいるってずっと言ってる。誰も信じてない。
ごめんねマリアちゃん、そういうつもりじゃないんだよ。
After learning that everyone had doubted Beatrice's existence, Maria, who had been in a good mood all day, completely lost her temper. George, who was sitting next to her, tried frantically to calm her.
ゴーダ、それもディナーの何かの余興なのかね。なかなかの味な演出だ。
兄貴、三文芝居はやめようぜ。兄貴が呼んだんだろ。
呼ぶ？誰よ？どこから？
兄さん、はっきりさせましょう。あれは誰？まさか本当に肖像画のベアトリーチェだと言うんじゃないでしょうね。
私にはお前たちが何を言っているのかさっぱりだ。ゴーダ、これは本当に冗談ではないのだな。
私はその源氏さんからそのように指示を受けただけでして、その
源氏を呼びなさい。今すぐ。
When Natsui yelled, Gohda shot out into the hallway. The sound of the door being thrown open at that time triggered a sudden uproar around the dinner table.
じゃあ兄貴も知らないってんだな。呼んだのは誰だ？親父ってことか？
私には何のことかわからんね。お前たちは私が裏で糸を引いていると信じているようだが、それは大きな誤解だ。
クララス兄さん、落ち着いてえな。わしらはもう腹の探り合いをすべき段階にないで。もし兄さんも知らない怪人物だっちゅうなら、これはとんでもない話になるんやで。
秀吉さん、言葉を少し慎みませんか？主人は親族会議に不要な人間を招いたりはしません。
まったくだ。お前たちは何を言っているのかね。肖像画の魔女が額縁を抜け出して現れたとでも言うのかね。実際にその魔女様に会ったという人間がいるわけでもなかろう。
私、会ったわ。
Ava and Rudolph nodded at Rosa's proclamation.
マリアも会った。
The brief tension was broken, and Maria also started to make a ruckus. The room was by now chaotic. Like, I wanted... I've been wanting this! I've been wanting to see chaos!
つまりなんだ？じい様に黄金を授けた魔女様が今年の親族会議にはスペシャルゲストとして登場ってわけかよ。
しかし本当にローザおばさんの見間違いってことじゃねえの？
ローザおばさん、間違いなくなんですか？
ええ、私とマリアは会って話もしてる。私は会ったの。あれは間違いなく魔女だった。信じて。私の見間違いとか錯覚とかそんなのじゃ断じてない。あれは何だったの？
In the instant before the typhoon visited, Rosa had definitely met with the witch in the Rose Garden. But that scene had been so hard to accept as reality. And the more she spoke of it like this, the less she understood what it was she had met. Ironically, because she had lost her composure when she said that she had definitely met the witch, the more desperate she became, the more vague the witch's existence seemed. So, it was a single composed sentence that affirmed her existence for certain.
私もあったわ。挨拶とはとても言えないけれど、一応言葉も交わしてる。ローザさんの見間違いとかじゃ断じてないわ。
キリエさん、それマジかよ。
ええ。でも彼女は私に名乗らなかった。だから彼女がベアトリーチェであると断定はできない。でも主観的で恐縮なんだけど、私は玄関ホールで彼女に会ったから肖像画と顔を見比べることができた。私は第一印象で彼女こそがこの肖像画の主に違いないって思ったわ。あくまでも主観よ。
そんなことはありえません。第一、その女はどこからやってきたというのですか？今日の船は皆さんの送迎のための便が往復しただけです。その船に乗っていたのですか？
それを言われると弱いな。確かにそんなご婦人と一緒に下船した記憶はない。
あら、そう？私たちの乗ってきた船以外に船はないってどうして証明できるの？できないわ。来なかったは証明できない。
道理だな。来たは証明できる。来たのを見たやつが見たと言えばいい。しかし来ないは証明できないぜ。全員が来ない、見てないと言ったところで、全員が見てないところでこっそり来たことを否定はできない。つまり悪魔の証明ってやつだ。
It's easy to prove that a devil exists. All you have to do is meet a devil. But it is impossible to prove that devils don't exist. Just because no one has ever met a devil doesn't mean that you can deny the possibility that they're hiding away somewhere that humans cannot go. You can't deny the existence of aliens for exactly the same reasons. Until humanity searches the whole of space and can show perfectly that aliens don't exist, you can't be sure that they don't. And it's definitely impossible for us to ever check the entirety of space for the existence of aliens. Therefore, while there may be a number of ways to prove that aliens do exist, it is impossible to show proof that denies their existence.
となれば、僕たちが乗ってきた船以外の船で来たかどうかなんて、 議論しても無駄な問題ということになるね。僕たちと一緒の船にはいなかった。それだけが事実で、それ以外の方法でとにかくこの島に訪れたことになる。
そうね。どうやって来たかなんて議論の必要はないかもしれない。肝心なのは現にこの屋敷に今いて私たちと晩餐を共にする気がないという事実よ。
整理しよう。今この島には後宮家18人以外にもう一人客がいる。そしてそいつは兄貴も夏日姉さんも知らない客だってんだな。
知りません。何の話だかも分かりません。
お前は少し黙っていなさい。頭痛に触る。妻の言う通りだ。私にはお前たちが何の話をしているのかさっきからさっぱりだ。
じゃあ答えは一つしかないわ。お父様が呼んだのよ。今日の親族会議のために。
親族会議に？だから何のために？
そんなの知らないわよ。兄さんが知ってたらそれを問い詰めようって思ってたのよ。
ええわ、予算か。クラス兄さんは知らんと言うとる。つまり話はこうや。お父さんが肖像画の魔女にそっくりの客人をこっそり招いた。それにローザさんが出会い、マリアちゃんが出会い、そしてキリエさんも会った。今はそこまでや。わしらに言いたいことがあるんならとっとと姿を現せばええ。挨拶もなしに引きこもってるっちゅうんはどないなわけなんやってことなんや。
親族会議なんか花から関心のない親父が新しい愛人をこっそり呼びつけたってわけか。理想の魔女様のおべべを着せてよ。そう決着するには今日という日は意味を持ちすぎてるぜ。
理由は一つしかない。親族会議に加わるためよ。お父様の遺産について何かの権利を主張する気でいるのよ。
バカバカしい。当主様に愛人などと汚らわしいものなどおりません。
Are you certain? Are you certain? Because I can call bullshit on that.
お前は黙っていると言っている。私はこの屋敷でずっと親父殿と過ごしているが、そんな話は聞いたこともない。最大限理解を示したとして何十年も昔の愛人との間に隠し子がいたとしてそれを親父殿が探し出し今日という日に呼びつけたとこう言いたいのかね。
あなた、お父様にそんなものがいるわけがありません。尊い後宮の血が愛人ごときに。先ほどから数人が見た見たと自称しているに過ぎません。幻想妄想白昼夢に決まっています。あるいはこれも夫を陥れるための皆さんの何らかの芝居なのですか？
何の芝居だってのよ。芝居だって言うならそっちでしょうが。
よせよ姉貴。ちょいと暴力的な言い方だが夏日さんの言う通りではある。キリエは姿を見たが俺は見てない。姉貴もだ。だがローザは見た。しかしってことはいるってことになる。いるを証明している連中が存在する以上いるで直ちに決着だ。悪魔の証明の逆パターンってわけだな。それに俺も会いたいんだよ。そして一体当家に何の御用かと直接問いただしたい。
それについては私も同感だ。六軒島へ何の御用かぜひお尋ねしたいものだ。
白々しいこと言わないで。狙いは一つよ。 お父様の遺産を狙ってるのよ。相続問題に明るい弁護士に今後の作戦を練らせるべきよ。お母様と同格の権利を愛人が主張した場合、私たちの取り分はかっきり半分さらわれることになる。
ちょっとみんな待って。源氏さんがもうじき来るわ。彼は何でも知ってる。きっと私たちの疑問に答えてくれるわ。それまでそういう話はなしにしましょう。
Why would you think that would work?
さあ子供たち、悪いけれど大人はちょっと込み入った話をしないといけないの。ゲストハウスへ戻っていなさい。
Rosa yelled at the children, slightly emotionally. The children didn't understand why they were suddenly being yelled at now, but Ava and the rest came to the same realization as Rosa after a delay. They were talking so grandly about the filthy topic of the inheritance in front of the children. There was no way that they'd want their children to remain here. So they all immediately agreed with Rosa's plan.
そうやな。ローザさんの言う通りや。ジョージ、いとこみんなでゲストハウスに戻ってるんや。いとこ同士仲良く遊ぶんやで。
ジョージ、言われた通りになさい。いとこみんなを連れて今すぐ出ていくのよ。
ちょっと待ってよ母さん。僕たちはまだ食事も終えていない。
デザートもまだ来てない。
デザートはゴーダさんにゲストハウスに運ばせます。だから出て行きなさい。
ジェシカ、ここから先は大人の話し合いです。行きなさい。
わかったよ。まだ食いかけだってのによ。
ってことは俺だけ例外ってことはないよな。
理解してくれてありがとうバトラ君。でもあなたラッキーよ。
どうして？
私も出ていけるなら出ていきたいもの。
違いねえぜ。大人は大人で遺産をめぐって楽しい一家団らんをお楽しみくださいってんだ。
Oh boy, Battler. You know, you're a moron, but I love you.
私も席を外しましょう。どうやら今夜は私の出番はなさそうだ。
Nanjo softly rose from his seat. He had been calmly watching the whole discussion from his seat at the furthest corner of the table, without pointlessly interrupting. His reaction was very adult, like a calm old gentleman. When Nanjo rose from his seat, it urged on the other people who were supposed to leave. As the children noisily rose from their seats, a commotion was heard in the hallway as the servants returned.
遅くなって申し訳ございません。源氏をお呼びいたしました。
お屋敷の中の戸締まりの確認に行っておりましたもので遅くなりました。申し訳ございません。
さあ子供たちはゲストハウスへ。ゴーダさん、申し訳ないのだけれど子供たちの分のデザートをゲストハウスへ運んでくれるかしら。
は、よろしいのですか？
It seemed that Gohda did not appreciate that the dinner he had worked so hard on was going to be interrupted like this. He sent Natsui a look as though asking whether that was really alright. Asking her whether that was really alright.
ローザさんの言う通りにするように。それから 私たちにデザートの配膳は不要です。呼び出しがあるまで食堂には近づかないように。これは他の使用人にも伝えること。いいですね。
はい、かしこまりました。
さあさあ皆さん、参りましょうかな。マリアさんもこれ以上お母さんを困らせてはいけません。
マリアちゃん、僕たちにゲストハウスでベアトリーチェの話を聞かせてくれないかい？ぜひ魔女の話を聞きたいんだね。
George is a great convincer.
ジョージ兄さんは本当にうめえぜ。感動するぜ。
本当に子持ちじゃねえのかよ。手慣れすぎだぜ。
Maria's mood was completely back to normal at George's words, and she even took the initiative in hurrying everyone to go to the guest house. It looked like Gohda didn't like being kicked out himself, but he was unable to disobey Natsui, and left the room with Battler and the rest, closing the door.
ご用は何でしょうか、皆さん。
Yes, please tell me we stay with the adults, because I want to hear them go crazy.
あるわ。たっぷりと。それもみんな。誰から質問するかくじ引きが欲しいくらいよ。
だが誰が一番のくじを引こうとも最初にする質問は同じだと思うね。
違いねえな。源氏さん、正直に答えてくれ。今貴賓室にいるベアトリーチェってのは何者なんだ？
No! Stop that! Don't do that! You fuckers. You fuckers. You motherfuckers. You did. Damn you. Damn you. It's 10 o'clock. Wow, that is a late time. That was an awesome chapter. That was good. I really like that. I really enjoyed that. Wow. I have to admit, I'm liking this chapter much more than episode 1. I'm gonna say this now. I'm liking this episode a lot more than episode 1. And I cannot wait. Like, I really wanted to see the adults' discussion about Beatrice. Because that was... Okay, I love chaos. Don't get me wrong. I love chaos in games and in any sort of media. I love chaos. Because it's so fun to watch. I don't know what this says about me. I don't know if this is kind of psychotic to say this, but I love watching things burn. It's just awesome. It's just awesome. Watching things just crumple up and burn, and people going crazy with a good story. Like, if I know the context, and I know what's going to happen, that's when it's so refreshing. Like, the build-up, like, you already know what's happening. Like, you already know what's building up. You know that there's going to be a huge outburst as soon as something is revealed. Like, as soon as all the, context and the backstory as to what's going on, as soon as it all blows up, that's when the chaos feels the best. When you know it's going to happen. When you know something chaotic is about to happen, that's when it's just perfect. Just perfect. Like, the build-up of Beatrice and the other siblings all figuring out, wait a second, none of us know why she's here. Why is she here? Genji! Like, that, in my opinion, awesome. Awesome. I love chaos. So I'm gonna have to take some points off of this game. Because they did not go to what their discussion was. And since it's 10 o'clock now, we won't get it, I bet. Unless we have a little bit of a, unless we go back a few hours on the clock. Because I really want to see the Uchiha family conference, because I feel like that's like one of the most interesting parts of the game. Yes, it might be boring for some people, but the chaos that can happen in the conferences, that just looks amazing. Maybe I just like conflict and people, yelling at each other. Maybe that's it. But no, okay. I want there to be a reason why they're yelling. I want there to be a reason why everyone's yelling and screaming at each other and going crazy. And that was the perfect build-up for all of what's happening in this game. Perfect build-up.
Okay.